So, hi everyone, this is Sarah of YourCoolNinang, Samahan in Subtle Filipino Trade. Today I am joined by someone who I wish is really good in my own city. I have Robert Bulatao, or Bulatao, it's Bulatao.
It's a however you want to say it. That's
I
got too
heard
many vowels.
Bulatao, yeah. And he's currently running for San Leandro City Council, District 6. And speaking of that, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background and what you're doing for San Leandro?
Sure. A little bit about myself. So I used to be a massage therapist, and um, after I had gotten married, I was finally able to get health insurance. I was about 26 years old. I went to get a checkup because it was kind of a luxury at the time. Around the time, I was also going back to school to transition towards becoming a physical therapist. But after I had gotten my checkup done, it turned out that I had chronic myeloid leukemia. So at 26 years old, I had forever cancer, and I had to change course. My wife and I decided I would be a stay-at-home dad after a year of being stable, and we eventually had our first kid, Dante, in 2012, and our daughter, Nina, in 2014. So I've just been full-time stay-at-home dad, taking care of them, getting really involved in their lives to the point where about 2 years ago I signed on as the PTO president of my kids' school. So that's a parent-teacher organization. It's kind of like a PTA for broke schools. So that way we don't have to pay those dues and join that larger organization. So yeah, our school is a Title I school, which means the majority of those students are low income. So I did as much as I could to make it more equitable and accessible for everybody. Like when we'd have movie nights, we would charge $1 for a slice of pizza, and we would give free popcorn. And if a kid didn't have $1 for pizza, just take it. It's cool. This is all for you. So we did as much as we could for our community. Um, I've also been very involved in helping local progressive candidates get elected. I also do a lot with the community in regards to volunteering. I was doing a lot of the community cleanups, and especially the emergency cleanups that we had from storm a year and a half ago. One thing I noticed was during the quarantine time, when everyone was, a lot of the kids I saw in my kids' classrooms, they were sitting at the kitchen tables on the couch. They didn't have chairs. Now my wife, she works in commercial real estate, and sometimes when clients leave, they leave a ton of office furniture. So I was able to repurpose about 82 office chairs to the families of San Leandro that needed them. And on top of that, I'm also on the executive board of a nonprofit youth school for the last 2 years as well. Um, yeah, I do a lot for a guy with no job.
It's almost like you have several unpaid jobs. It looks
Right?
like. Yeah.
And
So,
it's a necessity. Someone needs to step in. But I'll do it.
absolutely. I was also low income and I went to a school that's like underfunded within the district, so I think you're doing very important work here. Like, I'm sure they appreciate it. How many instruments do you play?
I play flute, ukulele. Uh, I can play guitar and bass. I can play the bongo drums, and I play a mean kazoo. So
So you could be a one-man band as well.
yeah, right. I just
Okay.
need the rig. I just need the rig.
So, Stanley and Andrew, were you at the Itchy concert when they played at the Ball Theater there?
Nah, I missed it.
Yeah, they're my favorite band. I just had to ask.
Uh,
On your website and your socials, you said you wanted to be the first Filipino or Philam council member in San Leandro. I find it shocking that in a city where it's like 10% Filipinos that they haven't elected one. At the same time, I find it believable because I know a lot of older Filipinos do not want to get involved in American politics. Some of them may vote, some of them they don't. What would you give Filipinos or young people advise if they decide to do that for their community?
Well, first, actually, we have a lot of barriers to running in the city. So we have 6 districts in our city, and you would assume that if you want to run to represent your district, you would just campaign around that area, so like around 15,000 people. But instead of doing it that way, which conforms to the California Voting Rights Act, we do citywide elections. So instead of the 15,000 you would try and campaign to, now you got to campaign to 90,000, and that increases the cost of running significantly. So instead of maybe a ten to $15,000 election to represent your area, now you have to raise 50, 60, $70,000 in order to stand a chance if you're running contested like I am. So if I do get in, one of the things I want to do to lower those barriers to increase the representation that we have in our city would be to get us to conform to the California voting system. You don't have to be super political to run. You just have to have a good heart and you have to have an open mind. With me, I've been elbows deep in politics for a while. After getting diagnosed with cancer, realizing that it would cost me $20,000 a month for medicine alone if I didn't have insurance, and that kind of made me less apolitical and more, oh my God, we gotta do something, you know?
Yeah.
So don't be scared. Seek help. Just if you're gonna run, seek help. Talk. One thing that I've noticed is if you have a good heart, if you just want to talk to people and represent them, they're going to be very, very open to it. They're going to be very supportive. Last week, I was knocking on doors, and there was this one door I knocked on, and I could see through the window there's this old dude kind of walking towards the door with a walker. He opens the door, looks at me, says, "I'm not interested." And I say, "Excuse me, sir, are you Filipino?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Hi." So I'm talking to him. Oh, I'm like, "Hey, kamusta po? My name is Bulatao. I'm running for city council. I'm trying to be the first Filipino city council member in the city. And here's a lot of my agenda points." And I went through my whole spiel, and I could see it in his eyes. He started to cry a little, and I could hear it in his voice. And he said, "Oh my God, this is what we need. We need this representation. I'm going to tell all of my friends, even with their friends."
Oh my God.
And it gave me goosebumps just knowing that, just running, just being able to stand up and fight to get them that representation means that much to our community. So we're 10% of this community. We need a voice, and I'm not only here to represent the Filipinos. I'm also here to represent all the people that are living in these low-income situations, being on a single-family income. My wife was the one that was working full-time, and I was collecting disability, but it's still tough. We have 8 people living in our house, still got 4 bedrooms. There's a lot of people living in similar situations in our city, in our area. And if I get elected, I'm also going to represent all the broke people. I'm going to be straight up. I'm doing my best to give them that voice so that we can fight for more equitable solutions. I would like to say support diversity, equity, and inclusion, but then they often do the opposite while offering breadcrumbs.
And I know the Bay Area is a very expensive area of America to live in. So like, it's good that you're fighting for them. That just reminded me, because you are a millennial, you're fighting for rent control, affordable housing, basically basic human rights. Over here in Dallas, we have former Miss Texas Avery Bishop. She's running for Texas South. So she said she's a Gen Z and fighting for the same things that you are. I believe if she gets elected, she will be the first film advocate ever. And that just further reminds me of why aren't there more of us? Why do you think there are not enough millennials running for office other than the price to do it, or just no one encouraging them? Why do you think they're not encouraged to run for office?
But the Filipino ones are all nurses, that's why.
That is true.
But it's not a glorified job. We're, especially in Filipino communities, we're trained to go for the higher paying jobs, become a dentist, become a doctor, become a nurse. But there are other jobs that need to be filled and other ways that we can represent it. With millennials, I do believe that there's a lot of apathy because just growing up and watching the basic cost of living for food, for water, for gas, for shelter just skyrocket and skyrocket, while getting a degree doesn't really offer you a chance out of that hellhole. It's it really wears people down to the point where they just tune it out. They pay attention more on the national level because that's easy, but getting involved, it always seems so difficult because it kind of is. There's a lot of fear that goes into it. If I file this wrong, maybe I'm going to get charged $10,000 a fine. If I don't file this at the right time, all of a sudden everyone's going to know my dirt and start talking smack about me. You know, it's a very thankless job that comes with a lot of criticism, but if you're ready to fight for it and go for it, it's a lot of that apathy and that fear.
I mean, unfortunately, we need people who are younger because these laws are being made for us. And who else, can relate to that than Gen Z and millennials?
And
So,
those that are closest to the pain are closest to the solutions. So
exactly. I call this my Miss Universe question. So I live in Dallas, a really big city. Despite having 80 to 100,000 Filipinos, we're still very like spread out throughout the North Texas. We don't have a community center. We don't even have a seafood city. And I know you have several in the Bay Area. Why do you think a Filipino American community center is important?
I think it's important because what it'll do is it will bring us closer. There's a lot of Filipinos out here in San Leandro too, but we don't know. If you see someone who's like, "Hey, Filipino," but that's about it. you know. But giving our community that sense of belonging, where they can connect with each other, that will uh, help alleviate a lot of that fear. Filipinos, so we're not a monolith. There's a lot of us that are very extroverted, like myself, but there's a lot of us that are also very shy and introverted. Giving them that option of finding their alliance that speak the same languages, or at least maybe some Tagalog. We don't all speak Tagalog,
Right.
but knowing that there's a place where you can meet up with your other I think that will help build a lot more uh, and also strengthen our community. With the way that things are right now, I remember growing up and just knowing everybody on my block. In this current economic situation, it's essentially becoming a record economy where no one's able to build those strong roots in their cities. And for example, in San Leandro, 44% of our single-family housing stock is renter occupied. So how are you going to expect people to plan for the long haul if the majority of the houses meant for people that are trying to build that foundation are not able to participate and to build those roots to become a part of that community? If we want to return, we have to address the sorry, my cat's always sniffing my leg. Come over here. Come over here. Say hello. So yeah, we have to address the housing instability because we have to make sure that people can live here for the long term if we want to have a stronger sense of belonging, if we want to have people invested in their community, knowing their neighbors.
I forgot to ask, like, do you have, or I know maybe San Francisco does, but does San Leandro have a dedicated Filipino community center? Or do they
So
fall under just the San Francisco or the Bay Area
we
one?
have our normal community center, but we also have a senior community center, but
Yeah.
nothing for the Filipinos.
Okay. Yeah, but we both agree we need one. I mean, sometimes who's a Filipino immigration lawyer or Filipino doctor specializing in Filipino conditions.
At the very least, more Filipino-centered community events the city so that we can get to know each other.
Exactly. Support local Filipino business.
Exactly. Maybe I'll host a Filipino bingo night.
Yeah, that's good for the older people who might be just staying at home because they don't want to socialize. But everyone wants to play bingo. And that's like time for the fun questions. I usually ask these on the street, but for different areas. What do you think is a song that all Filipinos should know? And I tell people it doesn't have to be like Tagalog or OPM, right?
This is what I like. Magazine by Eraser Folks.
Oh my gosh, you summoned the right band. They're my favorite.
Hey, there we go. That's actually.
Here.
Oh, nice. I didn't know they were still together.
They're having another tour, and I think they're stopping in California. So you'll do that. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, that song holds a special place in my heart because before I became more better, more fluent in Tagalog, I was pretty much assimilated in America. Didn't speak a lick of Tagalog until my late teens. Practicing karaoke songs, and Magazine was one of my favorite ones. That's one of the ways I became a lot more comfortable with speaking Tagalog.
Like the pronunciation, it won't help you.
Yeah.
Do that. It's just fun song too.
Oh yeah.
But you mentioned karaoke though. It's actually my second question. What's your karaoke go-to other than Magazine?
I like to sing "Creep" by Radiohead. Everyone likes that song. I also like "Toxicity" by System of a Down.
Can you do the extreme growling?
Oh yeah.
Singing?
I'm a rocker. So I also used to be the lead singer of a anime cover band.
No way. That is so cool. That's you've worn so many hats in your life.
Right? I'm a jack of all trades, master of
Yes, that's the word.
One last one that I like to sing would be Santeria by Song.
Oh, that's a good one. And then lastly, if if you have speeches to do or anything involving politics and they allow like a WWE entrance song, what would be yours?
That's I'm gonna go with Virtual Insanity.
By who?
By Jamiroquai.
Oh yeah, that one I don't know, but I will look that up.
It's the one with the video that dude in a room and the room's moving all around him. There's a wonder man. That's all when things are big that should be small. We can say I got the lyrics wrong, but
Let me share my screen. I actually have a surprise for you.
we support that. Hey, I like it. I like
Yep.
it.
Obviously,
It captures my eyes.
yeah. And I thought, oh wait, no, that's just my art special.
I love it.
I saw a picture of you in our phone, so I picked that one. I know campaigning is a serious thing. Obviously, you don't have to use this one, but for social media, if you wanted, I'll send you the PNG. But I figured I'd draw you. But let me know if I need to change like the hair or anything.
I love
I
it.
can share my art with you.
Oh, thank you.
That concludes all of my questions. Can you tell us how to find you, how to support you, what we can do outside of California to support you?
Yeah, outside of California, what you can do is, if you want, you can go to my website, rb4sanleandro.com. Follow me on my socials, all my campaign socials. Give those some likes, shares, and some comments. Just because we're trying to fight those algorithms and we're doing everything grassroots. The way that we're going to win is it's going to be through word of mouth. I think as long as we can get the word out, people don't want the status quo. That's one of the reasons why we have such low voter turnout. They don't want the status quo. They don't want the standard politicians. They want people that look like them, that talk like them, that represent them, that understand their issues because they've gone through them. So, yeah, follow me on all my socials. Help out with the algorithm. You can donate through my website as well. And if I can get 100,000 Filipinos to donate $1, I think that'll be. I'm not really good at math, but that might be like a lot.
Yeah, after they remove the taxes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And like what what I'm seeing is they they don't understand the power of Filipino community, and they think that if we don't know what's going on, if we don't know that we're fighting for representation, that we're not gonna win. But they don't understand the true power of being Filipino. Do you know what it is?
Anything.
I was gonna say chismes.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
We have a whole army of mariteses. We're just gonna send them out to keep on talking to everybody. And really, that's all we need. Just a lot of people talking to each other and getting that support.
I mean, we pushed people like Bretman and Rock to stardom. It should do the same to people running for office, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me. This was a very fun conversation.
Thank you
If
for
I were
having
over
me.
there, I'd totally vote for you, but fortunately, I'm over here. So, thank you.
It's a thought that counts. It's a thought that counts.
Yeah. And for people watching, thank you for watching.
Thank y'all. See you later.